I am Chief Oscar Mokeme,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm the director of the Museum of African Culture in Portland, Maine. And I'm originally from Nigeria, from the Igbo, and I'm also a healer practitioner, what we call Umudibia.
And what does Omodibia mean?
Umudibia is the children of the healers. We are descendants of healers,
Mm-hmm.
which what you call the medicine people. So
Okay.
the medicine man and the medicine people are Dibias. So the descendants of this lineage are Umu Dibia. And it's a very old practice, and it's a royal kingdom of practitioners who is believed to have its roots from the Levites, who are priests. So that's where it came from.
So I mean the Jewish Levites.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. We have a lineage from that Jewish Levites.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
However, in talking with him and exploring some of the meaning of the pieces in his museum and the historical heritage that he carries into the present, I learned that Oscar is also a very high-ranking healer in the Igbo tradition. And something he got passed on, I believe, from your grandfather, was it? Who chose him over another relative. And subsequently, we visit almost every year. And some of you have already seen the very short video I posted on the USF SP Anthropology Facebook page. And over breakfast, I learned that after I posted this in late summer, Oscar received within several months 500 calls of people who had seen it and were asking about healing. And so without further ado, let's give a warm welcome to Oscar Mokeme, Museum of African Culture in Portland, Maine.
Let's get this working. Good afternoon. Well, my name is Oscar Mokeme again, and I'm the founding director for the Museum of African Culture, and I've lived in the US since '79. I was born and raised in Igbo land of Nigeria under a Christian environment, and a very strong Christian tradition and faith. But that's my religion. I was also born and inherited this ancient wisdom and tradition, which is our traditional culture of the Igbo people. And the way I look at it is that what we're going to talk about today, in our culture, we don't look at it as religion. We look at it as our traditions, the way we are. Just like when I go into some schools, and some children will look at me and I'll say, well, what do you see? And they say, we saw a guy with dirt on his body. And I say, well, why don't you come wash off the dirt? So they tried to wash off my skin, thinking it was dirt. I said, no, I'm a chocolate kind of a guy. So this is my culture, this is who I am, and not my religion. And I'll also tell you that some of the way I will do this presentation may be challenging to you. It may move you out of your comfort zone. It may challenge the way you think and process things. But that is how the object communicates. I like to look at this as how the African arts are used as communication tools rather than looking at them as a decorative art objects. Because in traditional African culture, these objects are not meant to be art. They are meant to be tools used to communicate ideas based on the convention of the societies that created them. So they're not art, they are medicine, they are books. When I was 16 years old was when I was really told that the spirit have got me. And then that was when I began to develop more interest in the culture and the art and started collecting. But as of age 3, I was being seduced by being pulled into the medicine by my grandfather, who often gave me certain assignments to do. And I don't like doing those things, like going to the river to pray and to the bush, and I don't want to do that. I want to go play with my friends. But then later on, I found out that that was some sort of indirect initiation, an indirect apprenticeship into the process. At the age of 16, this idea to build a museum, to build a school, to build a court, took over my senses. And it's a school of thought in the idea that the way the culture, the way the art communicates ideas is a different way. You're gonna find medicine, psychology, philosophy, sociology, all embedded in one, and history in the aspect of it. And it's a court in the sense that it's not a place to pass judgment, but it's a place to learn natural law. And it's a library in the sense that as you pick up an art object, it's not each object have layers and pages of wisdom and knowledge and information hidden in them. And it's a psychological way of thinking in the sense that it will challenge the way you look at life, it will pull out certain aspect of what we don't need, that doesn't work for us. So that's the approach I will take. And then again, African culture is an expressive culture. You get to express yourself. You get to participate in it. So that is where the challenge comes when I do this sort of presentation in university campuses, is that it's going to be an interactive process where I'm going to throw questions to you, you're going to explore it, and it's not a challenge, there's no good, right, or wrong answer. But if you're studying anthropology, history, cultural anthropology, cultural psychiatry, this is not a teacher who stands and talks. We participate in the process of feeling those things. If you can feel it, you can understand it. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So that is the process that we use. When I was invited, we have a lot of collection, and I wanted to bring a whole lot of stuff, but we couldn't travel them in the plane. So I kind of selected few objects that will represent a general, overall view of how sub-Saharan Africa see the world and how the Igbo see the world. And then I will use this subject to kind of jump around the culture and societies, and we visit how this thing communicates information through those cultures. And then when you look at this character, what do you see? Anybody?
Teeth.
Teeth. That is the most important aspect of what you're supposed to see. And then what else?
Horns.
Say it again?
Horns.
The horns. The horns are perfect. The horns in all African culture represent strength and courage. That thing that is inside of you that fires you to do something. That courage, that ability to endure delays in success are all embedded in the horns. The teeth, essentially, every object that shows their teeth has come to tell you that that object has the power to enforce moral law. Every mask, object that shows their teeth, the teeth is a symbol of law. And then you say, what is the greatest law of all in the universe of life? If you may experiment that, what could you think is the most important law in the universe of life? Anyone?
Love.
Love? Love? Did you say love? Is that what I heard?
You heard it.
What else?
Energy.
Health.
Energy,
Health.
health,
Life.
life. In the last 30 years, this is the only school I have been in that got this answer in the first shot. So love is the greatest law of all laws in the whole universe of life. But then the idea is, who are you supposed to love the most? Besides God and Jesus?
Yourself.
Yourself? The horns, again, talks about strength, being assertive. And then, who is yourself? I've been looking for this Mr. or Mrs. Yourself, and I've never found this person. When we say being assertive and that strength to express ourselves, and they say yourself, who is Mr. Yourself? That is supposed to be the most important person to love. Who? Who's that?
Yourself.
I'm looking for this yourself. And I want to know who this Mr. Yourself is. And I call it, what does this letter mean here? You put a dot on top of it. I. I'm supposed to love I, me. Take it home. Yourself is okay, but the thing is too vague. So I'm supposed to love me. And this guy, I love me incredibly. And I don't negotiate for that. And then sometimes people say, oh, that's too selfish. Yes, you're supposed to love I. You're supposed to love me. This is how it works. The University of Southern Florida wants to build the greatest anthropology center in the world. Yeah! And they want me to ask you to give us $1 million to start this foundation. Can you help us?
Maybe I can look into some resources.
Well, what it now? Why not?
I don't have the.
She doesn't have it, she said. So you can't give what you don't have. If you don't have love for I, for me, it's impossible to give it. So they said, love who you are, what you are, most. And the overflow, because that you give to other people. If you have $1 million, you give us to start this center, and if you don't have it, I don't have it. So if you say, I love my mom, I love this person, but if you don't have it for I, whatever I is, then you cannot give it. This mask deals with the initiation process. It's the introduction of this book we're going to explore, chapter 1, or the introduction. So the color black deals with mysteries, mysterious things in life we're going to explore. Horns, the idea of strength and courage. This line deals with centeredness. Without being centered, without operating from that source of life, chi, in you, you cannot function. The teeth deals with the rule of law, which we believe to be love. The colors, pink deals with change. This is initiation process. Has anybody ever been in initiation process? Ceremony of any kind? Yes, what kind?
Sorority.
Sorority. Anybody else? Yes, what kind?
Rugby.
Huh?
Rugby
Rugby.
is a sport.
Sports. Anybody else? Yes?
Communion.
Communion.
Catholic religion.
Yes?
High school graduation.
High school graduation is initiation process. Those are part of initiation process. Every day of your life, you are going through initiation process. What is initiation process? Yes?
The beginning of something new.
Beginning of something new. It's not something the people, the pygmies or the bushmen do in Africa. Ooh, they dance around the fire. That's not initiation process. Everybody who goes to church, mosque, synagogue, that seeks inspiration, that is an initiation process. When you go to school, you are going through an initiation process because you're learning. When you read a book that inspires you, that's an initiation process. When you watch a documentary movie that tells you issues about life, humanity, struggles, challenges, transformation, these are all initiation process. So you get initiation every day of your life. And that is what this is all about. For the students, remember the first time you were admitted to come to this campus? Can you remember? Do you remember the first day you got a letter that you were admitted, and then you carried your luggage into this university? How did it feel? It feels great?
Exhilarating.
Exhilarating. Or the first time you went to middle school, you came to the school looking like this. That's the face. You're scared and you're excited at the same time at this opportunity to participate in some sort of a discipline. So that is the beginning of this transformation. That is the beginning of this process of learning that brought you into the school. So we're going to move on. Then you see a different mask. And this particular piece, the color is almost brown or black. It deals with the ideas of ancestors. So the ancestors idea is just what the primitive people talk about. But then the Western people don't have ancestors. Is that right?
You are my ancestor.
So what is an ancestor? What is an ancestor? Who is an ancestor?
Your family.
A family. I need more.
Past generations.
Past generations? Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to jump around. I'll give you an example. A woman who became pregnant and had a baby. What do you call this woman? And had a child, or adopted a child. What do you call that woman? A mom? And a dad. No, dad, not yet. We don't do that yet. A dad a man who had a child, or adopted a child, you call him a father. What you call a woman who did not have a child, or adopted a child? What do you call this person? Yes?
Teacher.
Teacher? So my question is, a person who do not have a child, or adopted a child, can that person earn the title to become an ancestor?
Yeah.
Yes? If you say yes, show by hand. If you say no, show by hand. A person who
Still
did not
thinking.
have a child, did not adopt a child, you said that the person cannot be an ancestor? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, well, that woman would have had sisters or brothers, so you're connected that way. You're an aunt or you're an uncle, even if you don't have a child of your own.
That's why they're
You're
called.
still a member of the family.
Well, from the African perspective, you earn it. A person who went to this university and did not complete 4 years to get a diploma, did not graduate, doesn't have a diploma from this campus. So a person who lived their life in this universe of life and did not have a child or adopt a child, those people who perform rituals at the time of death, these are rituals that transmit a person to earn the title of an ancestor at the time of death. When a baby is born, we take the utube, the umbilical cord, and we bury it in a special place, and we plant a tree on top of it. That becomes what we call the tree of life. When a person is 15, 16, you're going through initiation into manhood. You go to that tree, take a part of the tree to carve a mask, and that becomes your initiation mask, the initiation staff, the initiation pendant, medicine stick. This person lived their life, had children, grandchildren, maybe not, and then they passed away. The body is carried and buried under that tree. And this tree will eat the dead body. And then you went to that tree and took a part of this tree to carve a mask. Now you have an ancestor's mask. So every ancestor's mask has to come from that tree where some old man or woman was buried. So that is the idea of the ancestor mask. Do the Africans worship ancestors? This is a very interesting question. Do they worship ancestors? Anybody? Be afraid? Yes?
I would say no, that the ancestors are messengers.
She says no. What do you think? Do you think the Africans worship ancestors? If you say yes, raise your hand. If you say no, raise your hand.
I say there's a reverence for them, but not a worship on that level.
Yes.
There's a reverence, there's a connection,
Yes.
but I don't see it as being that high.
Correct.
That's
the
a worship.
reverence, respect, honoring the ancestor. You worship the creator. Whatever you conceive creator to be, chi, God, whatever you call that, that's what you worship, what the Africans worship. You cannot worship a created, you worship the creator. Your ancestors are created people, trees are created objects, masks are made by somebody. So you cannot, I'm not going to worship my dead dad because he was my dad or my grandfather. The idea of the ancestor spirit mask is to inform us that someday we're going to be an ancestors. And then to warn us that we're going to have children. You're going to have descendants, offspring, who will replace you someday when you're gone. A lot of people have dogs and monkeys and snakes and spiders. Are they going to be your descendants when you're gone? So the idea of the ancestors' mask when they dance is to become a mirror to watch you, watch yourself. Think deep. Think from the end. What will you leave behind when you finish your business in this universe of life? Because life is about transformation and changes in the old time, the thing that we all can change into whatever you want to be, and it's all beautiful. You can change into a butterfly, you can change into a monkey. This is an old story for a different class. But then the ancestors' idea is you want to be the ancestor. So you think you want to be the alumni of this university. How do you earn it? Is to make sure that you don't leave this campus without that little piece of paper that is rolled at the end of your 4 years and they give it to you. You don't have that, you're not an alumni. So that is sort of an idea of an ancestor. You want to become an ancestor, you're going to earn it like you earn your bachelor's degree. The color is brown and kind of had a bulged head. This one talks about the idea of why we're here in the first place, in this universe of life. This talks about the people you call teacher or teachers. Who is a teacher? What is a teacher? Sir,
Yes, sir.
what is a teacher?
I believe that's someone who teaches.
You believe you're not sure.
So I'm sure. I believe it, so I'm sure.
Okay. Where is the person here?
He's
He's
the
anybody?
spreader of truths.
Huh?
He's the sower of seeds.
The sower of seeds. But who is that person? Is the person here? In this hall?
He's sharing his knowledge with you.
Who is that?
Everyone?
I don't know who that is.
All of us have something to share with one another.
So who is the teacher?
The people surrounding you?
I don't say everybody surrounding me. Who is the teacher? Who is the teacher? Say, I am. Can you say that? I am a teacher. When you leave that responsibility, looking for somebody who's surrounding you, are you not a teacher? Are you afraid to say, I am a teacher? Stop looking. And assume that responsibility. Say, I am a teacher. I want to teach somebody what I understood, my experiences. There's no particular person that is in the supermarket that you have to go and look for them somewhere to. I am a teacher. And by me claiming that I am is a natural gift. I was born to be a teacher. You are born to be a teacher. You are born to be a teacher. So why are you looking for somebody else? Because when you're looking, you've lost it. And you'll never find it. You look for something you've lost. So I'm looking for a teacher. Hello, take my eyeglasses. So the natural gift and the business we're here in this lifetime is to teach. How do you do that? When you're kind to somebody, you're teaching them. when you're gentle with yourself, the grace of your gentleness emanates from you. People see it. They learn from what they see in you. The way you carry yourself, the way you make your bed when you wake up, or not make your bed, teaches somebody next to you that you do that. The way you welcome people into your circle teaches them about that community. And it's all about that beautiful experiences. You don't need to read it in a book. It's in you. And it's a natural way to be. And that is why we are all the teachers. So when this man dances, he moves in a way that we have to mirror what he's doing. And we find that qualities in ourselves. And this one is the most interesting medicine of all. When you look at this character, what is he doing? Yes, in the back. Yes, you. Come find it. Look at this character. What is he doing? Where is it, teeth? What is he doing? Baring his teeth. This is the most important medicine, much better than Tylenol. What do you think he's doing? He's smiling. Does that look like a smile to you? What do you think?
Keeping his mouth shut?
Look at his character. What is he doing? Can you see it? He's smiling and laughing. It helps you to make joke of yourself. When you're doing well in life, find humor in your foolishness. This world we are, it's all foolishness. It's all theater, it's a dance, it's a play. We take ourselves too seriously. Loosen up. Take it easy. Have fun. When something is happening in your life and you're all, some people can't even smile or laugh. And then it gets stuck in your kidneys and liver. When you can laugh about situations, take things easy, smile to people. It doesn't cost money. Police will not arrest you. It's free of charge. The sun does it every day. And it's the greatest medicine. And then when you look at it, you see that it's green. It brings life. It brings farming. It brings abundance. It brings wholeness. So this is Ojimba. Ojimba talks about laughing, smiling, being free, liberating yourself from the bondage of stinginess, grumpy. Stop grumping and be free. Laugh, smile. Your whole health will improve. It reduces blood pressure. It chases away cancer. Ulcer has no business when you're free of tension and tense in your body. Improve your immune system. And then we see a different character, also brown. But this one has, like, how many faces? Three. And this is where the whole system comes together. They told us that inside us are three spirits. When you connect to these three spirits, you manifest 7 spirits of God, whatever those are. Have you ever heard that? Okay. In the people who go to church, there are 3 spirits of God. Do you remember that? What are they? Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And this Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are all separate spirits. Is that right? The Father is a separate spirit. He lives in California. The Son is a separate spirit that lives in where are we? In St. Petersburg. And then the Holy Spirit itself lives in Portland, Maine. Is that how it works? How does it work?
The three
Is
are one.
the three is one, functioning as one. This is the internet. You connect to this internet, you get your emails. You connect to this internet, you get your health. You connect to this source of process, your abundance will increase. Your health will increase. You're looking for something? Look at this internet. There's something they call GPS. The GPS, sometimes you miss your road, it says recalculate. Recalculate. And it's always kind. It will always recalculate. It will always get you to your final destination. Is that right?
Indeed.
This is where that GPS came from. If you connect to this GPS, that spirit will always guide you. It's called the spirit of counsel. The first spirit of God, when you recognize the source of creation and centeredness, is the spirit of lordship. It makes you aware of who you are. These are English words for what I'm trying to say in Igbo. The second one is the spirit of amamife, wisdom. The third one is nghọta, knowledge. And you have the spirit of understanding. Without knowledge and understanding, even though you're wise, you'll be foolish. The fourth one is the spirit of counsel. It's the GPS. It's always telling you, hey, that's not right. Don't do that. Your consciousness. You connect to it, you connect to the GPS. And then you have the spirit of might, the physical abilities to do those things that you want to do. And then you have respect, reverence, that helps you honor yourself when you come to the place, you understand your seeds, when you're there, and then you hope for your harvest. You think from the end, from the harvest. When you're in this university and your eyes are not in getting your degree, you are in the wrong place. If you're a professor and you're here and you're teaching and your eyes is not getting your paycheck and your reward for the seeds you're sowing, start a non-profit. You don't belong here. Because you want to see your kids grow. You want to see the children, the seeds you planted in their hearts, the seeds, the secrets you buried in their breast, germinate, produce decent human being who functions from the source of life. This is where, when you connect to this place, nothing matters. You have no resistance. You are free. You have goals and objectives. No? You think about that. You don't produce anything. You think from your goals. You think from your objectives. The fire, the seed fires you up. And then you begin to manifest your intentions. You begin to define your desires clearly so that those intentions are manifested. When it doesn't come from this source, it doesn't happen. So this is your GPS that is buried inside of you. It's always there. It will always be there. It affects your health and everything else. And then when you don't understand that, you become this character. You become a slave. You be in bondage. You cannot speak your truth because you're trying to impress somebody by being what you're not. You cannot walk to where you are being sent to go. Remember I told you I was born as a Christian? And in that Christian ideology, they said that this guy named Jesus, one day he was taking a walk by the beach, and he saw this fisherman dragging their net. And he said, hey, I don't know their names. I said, hey guy, follow me. Follow me. And I'm going to teach you how to catch men. Those guys could have said, "Who is this guy? I'm not following him. Get the hell out of here." It's a time of harvest. Without resistance, they followed this guy because he came to the place. When you don't walk and hear the instructions of the Spirit in you, you'll be trapped. You'll be climbing the ladder of success on the wrong wall. Eventually, you get to the top. When you get to the top, there's emptiness in you, and you start to fill this emptiness with alcohol, drugs, gambling, sex, whatever. And then all of a sudden, you need therapy. You need to climb down from that wall and go to the right wall. And when you climb in it, you feel fulfilled, you feel pleased, you have no desire. You're not looking for anything. You are free from being in this bondage. And the sculpture here is black. It's a mysterious place to be. It's very uncomfortable to be where you don't belong. I don't know how we're doing with time. And then you see a different sculpture here from the Sukuma people. And this one tells us that the earth is square. What do you think? The earth is square. What do you think? No? You think that they're lying then? Okay, the earth is rectangle. No? What do you think?
Me?
Yes.
I think it's perception and reality.
Oh, well, then that must be that
You
reality.
perceive your own reality.
What is yours?
About the earth,
Yes.
I don't think it's necessarily square or round.
And what do you think it is?
I think it's just an ongoing continuum of thought.
Just a straight line and no, and you just
Oh,
follow.
no, with lots of turns and twists and angles and I don't think there's one set definition for what I conceive as earth.
Okay, anybody else have a different perspective? Okay. Some people think it's a triangle. Is that right? What do you think it is? Yes?
You said that they think it's a square, correct? Maybe because a square is equal on all sides. The life is equal, no matter who you are, kind of thing.
Now, what do you think?
That's what I think.
You
from
think
that.
Earth is square?
Yep.
You just thought that now. What do you think?
Well, no, not the shape of the world, but life in general.
But what is the shape of the world?
I think it's a sphere.
Like a spear?
A
No,
sphere.
Sphere.
Yeah, a circle.
A 3D dimensional.
Like this?
Yes,
Shut up. You believe that too?
the circle of life.
Three-dimensional.
You do believe that? So if it's like this, are we inside it? Are we on top of it? Where are we? Are we inside the tube, the ball? Are we up here? I'm going somewhere with this.
We were inside and then we came out.
Everything in
Then we go back
Africa
in.
is about spirit. So if it's a ball, so we're standing on a big ball. How come we don't fall out? Why don't you fall out if we're standing here on the ball? You back there. Yes, you, at the end of the chair, last seat. Yes. Why don't we follow this too? Huh?
Gravity.
Gravity?
Gravity? So gravy to make much Oh, gravity! Yes. This is the spirit of gravity. See, the rings are the things that held you. Do you ever feel excluded by your friends? Have you ever felt excluded? The Mother Earth said, you belong to me. You have right to be here. The ocean is here, just like yourself. You should be here. So that force, and what is that force? We think that the earth is a woman. We call it Anne. my language. And some people call it Mother Earth. So the mother has this power to hold her children. Watch a little child. When a little child is frightened by a stranger like me, they go, Mom! They run to the mom and hide on her legs or to die. So the moms and dads has this gravity that pulls children to safety. The same way the earth holds us and provides security. She fed us. We came from there. When you finish your business, you go back there. Whether you are cremated or burned into ashes, you always go back there. And then that earth too is the mother ocean, Oshimili. Because you are water. When the water in you dries up, you're dead. So the water goes back to the source, the ocean. The flesh disappears into dust, back to the earth. However way you came here, or however way you were buried at the end of your time. So the beginning is your life, the end is your death. In between is the struggle to transform yourself, whether you recognize this beautiful transformation or not. So you ought to respect the earth and your human mothers and fathers. But then as we are young adults, we think that our parents are now old. They don't know what they're not cool anymore. They've lost their wisdom. They've lost their power. And then when our mothers and grandmothers age, we put them in what we call the warehouse of death. Nursing home, waiting for them to die so we can read their will and sell their house and take their cars and their money. And we don't remember. Remembering is something we've forgotten. Remembering also comes from here. When you remember, two types of remembering. One is the memory, one is the alignment, realigning your body and your mind to function as one. You forget to do that, you have pain, you have aches, you're unbalanced, you're walking around, you feel like you don't have a soul, you have no consciousness. You can do things without feeling regret. You can do anything you want without anything paining you to say, hey, what you're doing is wrong. We've lost that with most of our moms. And then we claim that we want to preserve the earth by burning papers and plastics and we call it recycling. What is the most important thing to recycle in order to preserve the earth? If you get it right, you take this home.
Knowledge.
Knowledge? No. Two more trial, then I'll keep my thing.
I.
Huh?
I.
No.
Myself.
Love.
Yes.
Love.
Well, the number 3 is gone, so that belongs to me again. Your attitude. When you recycle your attitude, you stop wanting, you stop looking. Disease from material desires. You begin to love yourself. You begin to love others. You begin to appreciate beauty in everything around you. You have no right or wrong. You function in unity. Here's a little experiment. When you're off the track, reconnect back. Remember. Remember. How do you do it? If you want to drive to Tampa, Florida, there's something you're going to check first in your car, whether you have enough gas, right? If there's not enough gas, you don't go. You get to the gas station first. But you wake up every morning and you just do things, you pack up and you just go, how do you check if your energy is remembered, it's realigned, the body, mind, and spirit, all in one and functioning as one as they should? Have you ever tried that? Prayer won't give you anything. Pray, pray, pray. God don't hear your prayers because thou goes with words. Words you can read in a newspaper or in another book somebody wrote. What is your prayer? How do you reconnect? How do you realign your mind, your body, and your soul to be one? Kings do it before they make decisions. Judges do it. Elders do it. Try this. See that? Try it. And you see the difference. It's easy. And sometimes they say you have to pray like this. You see, you can't even do it with your eyes closed. But here's the secret. See this pinky finger? You switch it back and forth. And then tell me what you feel. Does it feel the same? When you do that? Sincerely, what does it feel like? If it feels good, you're in the right track. If it feels funny, then you're not balanced, you're not in alignment with yourself. You need to continue to do it until your brain begin to connect your mind and your brain and your heart begin to connect with one another. It becomes normal. If you do that, when you find yourself daydreaming, shifting to a different place, unless you want to shape shift, even if you want to shape shift, you come from the center. And as you begin to let go of things, your body will begin to shift and shake. And that shaking and movement transform into something else. This is the greatest way to realign your mind and your body to become the same. And that is the story of remembering. Lastly, let's talk about these characters called Ikenga. Ikengas, the word Ike, I-K-E, means strength. The word Nga, N-G-A in Igbo, means place. So if you translate that in English, it sounds like the place of strength. And I call it the ancient faith theory. Well, because they think if you believe in your Ikenga, you have faith. Faith is something that you already have or acquired without that not being physically in your possession. Like harvest. If you plant a rose bush, in your mind you've already seen beautiful roses in the summertime. That is your harvest. And you have faith that those roses must come. Your key also generates some sort of faith. Your key. When you take your key, you know that that key will always open your door. Every time you go to your car, you trust and believe without a shadow of doubt that that key will turn your engine on. Is that true? If you believe that the key, you trust that key, why don't you trust your source of creation in you? So the same way this idea comes to change and shift the minds of the ancient Igbos. When you're under a certain age of 21, you belong here. See, these are all the same thing. They have horns that curve backwards. This one doesn't have a face. This one does. This one is seated. You can actually talk it as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Because when you are here, you're not seen. You're almost invisible. You translate that into human contemporary life, you're a child. You're not recognized as a matured person. You're under the age of 21. You cannot buy beer or drink beer in public. You can drink in the basement for those who can sneak around, but you're still hiding. And then you have a different sensation going through your mind and body, trying to figure out, well, why am I here? Who am I? Why don't they like me? I can't get a job because I'm black, I'm Jewish, I'm a girl, I'm Irish, I'm Italian, I'm a blonde, they think I'm a dummy, I'm this, I'm that. Blame everything. Instead of celebrating those things. So those are what goes on in your mind. It shifts you in this mystical ocean of confusion. Eventually, you recognize that it's you who's holding yourself back. You drink too much, you can't go to class, you don't take notes in classroom, so you cannot write your report. Blame somebody. Blame somebody. Eventually recognize, see the face appear. If I am to pass this class, I need to do my work. Then you have strength, you have courage, you have wisdom. You come to this place of understanding, and the knowledge begin to manifest. Now you've gone through this threshold. If you continue to dwell here, you'll be in a blame victim mentality and blame other people. And that's when you recognize who you are. And that's when you're 21 and above. That's when the community will recognize you as an adult. You have a different initiation process. At older age, you're expected to be seated. You graduate from this school, you have a trophy, a degree. Then you will be seated, you get a good job, you start a family, you start having children, you start making contributions back to the society. You start paying alumni dues, you belong to clubs. So that is where the ultimate place people want to go. So you may call this Father, Son, and the Spirit when you're invisible. So that is how the Igbos assess our human development. First, you start with the presence of unknown. You recognize that to be successful is to recognize your opportunities. And then you manifest those opportunities, you get to a place of stability. And that is where we're going to stop for now, and we can take questions afterwards. And I have a guest who came with me. And I want to go and bring this guest to come and say hello, if you guys want to see him. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, give me a few minutes, and I'll go find him.